Sharks is a lightweight distributed movement protocol that allows agents, such as UAVs, to circle a target without exchanging information with one another. Each agent uses the distance to their nearest neighbor and their distance to the target to make their next move. This ensures that all the agents end up in a stability region, forming a rotating perimeter around the target. This rotation is due to the agents moving at a degree away from their nearest neighbor. So they don't need any knowledge of the swarm, and they don't need any knowledge of each other. However, the one caveat is that the swarm has to have at least 3 nodes in it. On the flip side, it can have as many nodes that can physically fit in that area. So to recap, each of these nodes is doing basically 2 movements as they jitter about. One where they are moving either closer to or further away from the target, and the other as they are moving away from their nearest neighbor at some degree of rotation. And then how you set that degree of rotation can change whether or not you're moving clockwise or counterclockwise. Another way to view this is if I actually show you the path, so you can see that they are actually moving around. Now, one thing that is happening right now is these jumps to the center of their circle, and that is an evasive technique. So to understand that a little bit more fully, what we'll do is clear our screen here and add some malicious agents. Now, what the malicious agents aim to do is disrupt this circling technique. Right now, all of our valid agents are perfectly surrounding and equidistant from each other and from the target. And what that means is that there is no opening in the perimeter. However, when the adversaries come in, they come in a tight group and try to spread out. And by doing so, they're corralling the valid agents, thus opening up parts in the perimeter for access to this target, whatever the target may be. Now, the evasion technique that we saw before, where they're hopping into the middle, is them trying to get around these malicious agents to still maintain equilibrium. There's a couple of different ways that they can do this. The basic one that we're seeing right now is just eject in at some chance. Everyone's going to jump in sometimes. There's a same version, but it's eject out. And then there's also a dynamic version where they are watching their nearest neighbor distance and telling whether or not it's abnormal. So as you can imagine, this one's going to work most of the time, depending on the number of agents you have and the number of malicious agents you have. Whereas the dynamic version, the one where they're watching their nearest neighbor distance to see if it's normal, is going to work as long as it works quickly. If it takes them too long to reach equilibrium again, their new normal is going to be the corralled version, and they become complacent to the fact that they've been corralled. So what we see here is that even in this short amount of time talking, a basic evasion technique can work against this sort of corralling attack. Other things have been coming along with sharks right now. We have a 3D version, as well as a version that tracks wind. We've got people working on an actual physical version of sharks. So lots of really exciting things happening in this world. So check back soon to see what we've got.